Hello again, welcome back to BrewBQ'n. Today we are doing brisket. We're gonna fire this thing up on the Yoder over here, 225. I'm guessing probably gonna take about 15-16 hours. Not gonna crutch it, we're just going standard, top shelf, let it go. We will be injecting it. We're gonna do a little beer injection with some Worcestershire, and we're gonna dry rub it. So let's do get the dry rub set up here. We'll get the marinade set up, or the injection set up, and then we'll get the brisket out here and we'll trim it up and throw it on the smoker. So for the rub, what we're gonna do, we've got, I'm just gonna show you right here, we got a quarter cup of brown sugar and a quarter cup of smoked paprika. We have 3 tablespoons of pink Himalayan salt and 2 tablespoons of black pepper. We have a tablespoon of ancho chili powder and a tablespoon of, you can kind of see here, ancho chili powder and just regular dark chili powder. We have ground coriander, celery seed, garlic powder, and onion powder. We're just going to throw this all into this little bowl here. And then just mix it up with our hands, get everything nice and incorporated. If you use a fork with this, sometimes it doesn't really incorporate, so I just like to get in there with my hands and get everything really nice and mixed up. You can kind of see, once everything is done or incorporating here, which we look pretty good. So for this, now what we're going to do is I just have one of these little shaker things. I'm just going to load this in here. As for the injection, we've got a can of beer just going in. It's going to keep it super simple. Throw a little bit of Worcestershire in here. About a quarter cup or so. We're not making anything too crazy or detailed on this. This is just going to be kind of a rough go at it. And then we're also going to use a little bit of teriyaki sauce here. So just going to add a little bit of flavor throughout. You're also going to get that, the crust from the rub is going to be what's really going to be flavoring this. So we have our marinade here, our injection. Just whisk that up. We've got the rub. We got the injection. Let's go get this meat and get this thing on the grill here, all right? So we have this beautiful piece of brisket here, prime cut. Got it from Costco. Highly recommend getting your briskets there. They have great quality on it. What we need to do first is trim this up. So you've obviously got the fat cap on the bottom. We'll take a little bit off of that, but all this other big chunks of fat, or like especially this piece right here, we'll just take this whole piece off. Don't need that. We'll get, any of this stuff that is on the top here, kind of trim. We're gonna go fat cap down on this. I want it to kind of protect from the heat on the bottom of the, coming up from the firebox. So we're gonna go fat cap down. There's always the debate, up or down, I guess it's personal preference or what you're looking for. So you have this like giant vein of fat that runs right through here that you're gonna want to take out, and that's kind of where the point of this is. So we'll just kind of get in here and get all this out. So on the fat cap, I'm just basically trying to clean it up a little bit. I'm not trying to get too crazy with, getting it down to a specific, thickness or anything like that. I just want to kind of trim it up and make it a little cleaner. You don't want to go too much and get into the meat. We want this to kind of insulate it from the heat. So we'll just get this trimmed up, and then we'll get this thing injected and rubbed. We got the brisket trimmed. It looks amazing. The marbling on this thing is absolutely incredible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little injection on it, and for every injection point that you do it, you want to kind of move the needle around just a little bit to help get it all throughout the meat. All right, we got everything injected. It's looking amazing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pat this dry now. Get it all dried up, and then we're just gonna rub regular yellow mustard over the top of this. Just gonna help kind of keep the help the rub stick. All right, so let's rub this. Want to make sure you get in this nice cavity that we cut in here too. That's gonna add just, you know, get flavor everywhere. Then we're just gonna sprinkle our rub all over the top of this. Kind of want to massage it, make sure you get everything all nice and incorporated into this. Here we go. We got the meat. It's looking amazing. Yoder's up to 225. We're smoking this on hickory, and we'll leave this probably about 15-16 hours. I'll check on it in the middle of the night, and we'll see you guys then. All right, guys, it's about 3:30 in the morning here. We're about halfway through our cook. It's been about 8.5 hours. Now I'm gonna throw the probes in so we can get the temperature going. We're also gonna spritz it. I made a mixture here of amber ale and apple cider vinegar, so we're gonna get that done right now, just a light mist. You don't wanna go too much because you don't wanna ruin that bark that's going on, but it's looking absolutely fantastic. One of the things I did forget to mention earlier was that we're gonna put a tray, we put a tray of hot water, or a tray of water underneath this to help keep moisture in the smoker while it's cooking, help prevent this from drying out. So I'm gonna get these probes set up. I always like to insert my probes through the side here, or at least one through the side, and then we'll do one kind of on this back side over here. If you come in at an angle sideways, it kind of guarantees that you're going to be in that middle section of the meat there, so you get that nice, you know, sweet spot there. All right, I think we're done now. You really want to try and limit the amount of time that you leave the lid open on this during this, because you don't want heat to escape. It starts messing with the texture, you know, of the meat and prolonging the cook and all that stuff. So you want to be as quick as possible. We're gonna let this just keep going. I'm probably gonna spritz about every hour and come out, kind of keep it going, just to keep it nice and moist. And we'll see you guys probably tomorrow around 10-11 o'clock. Good night. All right, here we go. I wasn't planning on doing this. We're at about 19 hours now, and the meat's still about 163. So I'd like to be able to eat today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crush this and hopefully speed this process along a little bit. So here we go. The meat actually looks absolutely incredible. I don't know if you can see this. Looks just absolutely amazing. The bark is nice and formed. Been spritzing it once every hour or so. So let's get this thing crushed up, which is basically just going to kind of help keep the heat inside. I'm using butcher paper, which I think keeps the crust a little bit, you know, more intact than if you were to use foil. So we're going to wrap this, shove it back on, try not to lose as much heat as possible here. We got the brisket all nice and wrapped up. Get these probes back in. This thing will take a couple more hours. We'll pull it off, we'll rest it for like another hour or two, and we'll be good to go. See you in a few. So we just probed out here, 185. We're gonna pull this off. We're going a little lower in temp this time. We're gonna take it off at 185. We're gonna wrap it in this towel here. And we're gonna let this sit in a cooler and rest for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Once that's done, we'll slice this thing up, see how it goes. So since we're doing a big, heavy piece of meat, I figured we might as well take it back to what got me in craft brew in the first place, which was this bad boy right here. We got Arrogant Bastard Ale. This is Stone Brewing's first, you know, major beer that was put out there. It's heavy, it's bold. It started the whole movement of yellow beer is for wussies movement, and started, you know, the big craft scene in San Diego. So this is what we got. This thing has just got a ton of flavor to it. Let's see here, we got it's just it's so so in your face and so bold. A lot of caramel coming through. You get a lot of the, I don't even know what you're getting through this, but it's an amazing beer. Like I said, this is what got me into craft in the first place. Seeing the cool gargoyle, you know, this bad boy right here, and just knowing that something was better than Budweiser or Coors Light or whatever was out there. If you haven't had it, find it. Arrogant Bastard. It's great for something like I said, with this brisket being such a big meat, bold flavors. This pairs wonderfully with it. So we're here. Cheers. See you guys in a few. All right, so let's recap here. It's been exactly 24 hours for this bad boy. We injected, we rubbed, we smoked at 225, and then we crutched at about 165. We took this old school low and slow. We took it off at about 185 degrees. We let it rest for about an hour. And now we're gonna cut into this thing and see where we go with this. So let's see how this looks. All right, so already check out that smoke ring. That's sexy, right? So we're gonna cut this in all the way through, take a few pictures, but let's first, we'll give this a try here. The flavors that came through on that rub are absolutely incredible. So we're gonna call this a success. We'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe, thumbs up, cheers.